Back here, first things first, the Patriots are heading up to rainy, windy Buffalo Sunday for a divisional battle with the Bills. A loss on Sunday, and how about this? The Patriots, who have won basically everything the last 20 years, would fall to 2-5. Pats need a big game out of Cam Newton. Cam's got 0 touchdowns, 5 picks in his last 2 starts, and now he's going to be without his top receiver, Julian Edelman. Sidelined, I have to mention it, after having, or they're calling it, precautionary knee procedure. Either way, he's not available. Here's Cam Newton on what's on the line on Sunday.
It's over.
Losing is not acceptable in this locker room, in this county, in this state, in this area, in this region. So Cameron Newton, you need to pick your expletive up. That's what I've learned.
All right, Michael Vick is back with us now. Some honesty there from Cam Newton, some accountability. Is Cam playing for his job on Sunday, Mike?
Yeah, he is, and I think Cam knows it. I can tell just by watching the interview that, you know, Cam feels the pressure. He understands that the expectations are extremely high, and he covered all bases in terms of winning, you know, in the state, in the region, in the county, and everything else that he explained right there in that brief interview. And it's unfortunate because it's the nature of the business. It's, you know, what's required at the quarterback position. All eyes are on you, and it's hard to believe that we praised Cam and the Patriots the first 3 weeks of the season, and things have continued to become more and more difficult as the season has progressed. But the thing I like about Cam is that he's acknowledging that I have to pick it up. I have to step my game up. And, you know, the biggest key to finding success is acknowledging that you haven't had success, you know, in the past. So, you know, I think some great things can come out of this. Help him throughout this process. So Cam is going to have to be Superman and do it on his own. But the one thing I do believe is that it can be done. Cameron Newton can get it done.
All right. So I don't think Cam is playing for his job at all, even though he's played very poorly. And I'm going to use a small personal anecdote to illustrate why. I don't know how many of the viewers know this about me, but the only real job I've ever had that wasn't just talking about sports for a living is I once upon a time was a door-to-door steak salesman. And it's another, why I was a door-to-door steak salesman, another thing, but just follow me along here. And the way that company, no, it was called Steakhouse Quality Meats. They've since been shut down, I think, but doesn't matter. Just follow me here, okay? And the way it worked was you had a partner and you split, you know, your profits at the end of the day, 60-40 with the partner, and the 60 went to the driver, and the 40 went to the other guy. And there was about a month where we were on a real cold streak. And the guy who owned the company said, Nick, if you don't get it together, I'm flipping you. I was doing terribly. I'm going to make you the co-guy instead of the driver. And I knew it was a bluff because my coworker, my partner, didn't have a driver's license. So no matter how bad I did, I was always going to be driving that truck. That's Cam Newton. It's like, did I throw another pick? Well, Stidham just ran into a curb. Did I throw another pick? Well, Hoyer just backed into the garage. So he's going to be the quarterback. It doesn't mean the Patriots are going to be fine, but he's going to be the quarterback. But one of the reasons, Brandon, I'm bullish about Cam this weekend is the knock on Cam is inconsistency. Jenna brings this up all the time, and it's fair. But by the definition of inconsistency, it means you have some really bad games and some really good games. And I feel like he's due for one of those really good games. So I'm a little concerned, as Wilds pointed out earlier, about the weather, Brandon. But I think Cam plays well. I think the Patriots win. And I think even if he doesn't, he's still the driver of this car.
That was an awesome story. I love it. Maybe you can teach me how to sell some steaks. But look, I think he is playing. I think he is playing for his job, and it's not because of the surface stuff that we're talking about. when you turn on film, what do you see? You see a sloppy offense. And I think that's what Bill Belichick is frustrated with. I said it yesterday. You've never seen these free runners just running at Tom Brady. You've never seen guys just beating the offensive line because they had one-on-one schemes when they should have been chipped. Cam Newton is not handling the fundamentals right. He's not IDing the mic. 55's the mic, 56 the mic, setting the protection. That's why you're seeing him struggle. So I don't think Bill Belichick is worried about Cam Newton throwing a pick or two. I don't think he's worried about that. I think he's worried about, look, we got to control what we can control, and Cam Newton's not doing that. You go back to what else he talked about yesterday in his press conference, Vic, in Wilds. Like, what he said was, this is on me, not Josh McDaniels, not Jed Fish. I'm not setting the protection right. I'm not doing the fundamentals. So when I was watching film, that was one of the things that stood out to me outside of special teams playing sloppy. We've never seen that before, and there's some effort issues on defense. So for me, this is more about peeling back the layers and don't look at the surface stuff, and not the inconsistency in how he's throwing the ball, if he's making the right decision, but just setting the protection right.
All right, so here's my favorite Cam Newton piece of video. We don't have it because I just thought about it after Nick's steak story. It's Clay Matthews versus Carolina Cam, obviously. And Clay Matthews is mic'd up, and he's like, it's that wheel route, it's that wheel route. And Cam Newton looks at Clay Matthews and said, you've been studying film? I have too. Study this. And it's like, oh, it's just like the ultimate comeback, and Cam is confident and just awesome. That's the Cam I think we need, Mike. I like super confident Cam with the towel on his head, nodding, about to win the game. I like that Cam. This sort of like self-flagellation Cam, when I've seen him in the pocket looking around, seeming hesitant, I'm a little bit nervous that he doesn't have the necessary confidence to maybe make a 50-50 throw. I don't know, I'm playing for my job, AKA my entire career. So I hope there's someone in the locker room, maybe Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, that's just gassing him up so that Cam feels confident and plays with the needed sort of Camness that has made him great.
Yeah, the one thing I always felt about Cam was Cam having, you know, that smile, that confidence, that it shows from the time he steps out of the locker room onto the field, and I just haven't seen that. And I think it goes back to what Brandon has been saying, that Cam may not be comfortable with some of the things that's been presented to him in the offense. And, you know, if it's as simple as setting the protections, then, you know, more needs to go into the film study. And if you can't win the film study battle during the week, then you're not going to win it in the game because things are happening too fast. So hopefully that's not the issue, but it's obvious that some things need to be cleaned up.
Well, Mike, we talked about this offline. I believe it was maybe towards the end of last week or the beginning of this week when I asked you, I said, how long does it take for you to master an offense? Because we were talking about Tom Brady and the success he's having down there in Tampa. And you said a year. And a lot of people get caught up in, well, let's see the yards, let's see the touchdowns, the interceptions, and they forget that a quarterback's job is 80% mental. You drop back, you got to know what defense is it, did they disguise, where did they roll to, even before you get into that, did my guys line up correctly? Do I have a motion?
Right.
Is it on one? Is it on two?
Yeah.
You got to understand that. You also have protection. Where's the hots coming from? Where's the guy? Yeah, 3 seconds to go. Oh, they rolled to two.
Right.
Now where do I go? And I think that's where Cam is struggling, Mike, is that before he can even get to throwing the ball, there's too much going on in his head.
And we should just mention that the Patriots aren't 2-4 solely because of Cam. This is a team that's just not working on all three facets of the game right now. Cam happens to be the face right now of the team, and everything is orchestrated through him. Sorry, Wilds. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Okay, Brandon, I do want to get your take on this, though. So listen to this. DeAndre Hopkins joined former Steelers defensive back Brian McFadden's podcast. And they ran through the list of all the quarterbacks that Duke's played with. Take a listen to this.
The people that were throwing you the football, they weren't ideal. I mean, early in your career, you had Matt Schaub, Case Keenum, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brock Osweiler, Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, T.J. Yates, Brandon Whedon, Tom Savage. And then in 2017, now, listeners, if you're listening to us on the podcast and you're not watching us on YouTube, you should be watching us on YouTube as well. You didn't get a chance to see D-Hop. The names that I was reading off, he put his head down on the table as I'm reading these names off.
Brandon, I land
This is all bad. Jenna, why would you put me in this spot?
Right. Well, part of me feels bad for him, and the other part is like, well, you gotta throw these guys under the bus for. But you feel DeAndre Hopkins' pain here just a little bit.
100%. Nick was the first one that told me last year, I think it was December, he was like, bro, do you know how many quarterbacks you had? So absolutely understand it. But shout out to B-Mac. I'm about to go on the same podcast, and I got a feeling he's going to ask me the same question or have the same topic. You guys set me up here.
Hey, guys, what does this list remind you of? Jimmy Clausen, J.P. Lossman, Chad Henne, Chris Sims, Matt Moore, Tyler Thigpen, Kyle Orton, Patrick Ramsey, Geno Smith, Bryce Petty, Jason Campbell. I could go on. That's just half of Brandon's list. Brandon and D-Hop should go to therapy together, man. That's just part of Brandon's list. Part
Mike
two
Vick.
coming like, look at him,
now we
see?
feel
Same
Brandon's
reaction.
pain.
No Mike Vick.
All right, hey guys, we talked about how important a win is for Cam on Sunday. How much does Russell Wilson need to win for his Seahawks to stay in that Super Bowl conversation? It's more than you think. Trust me. Next, First Things First.